Hi loves, it's Elle. Welcome back. You asked for a more reasonable foundation, so I got a $10 one for you. So happy Foundation Friday, and let's get into it. All right, so I have a brand new foundation for you guys. It was recommended to me by a girlfriend of mine, and it is called the Catrice HD Liquid Cover Foundation. This lasts up to 24 hours. So if you guys need a long-lasting foundation, apparently this is the jam. I have all my notes right here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. It is $10 on Amazon, and it has a really beautiful shade range, actually. It's quite large. I think it's about 28 to 30 different shades, so there's gonna be definitely one for you there. It was kind of hard though to pick out the right color. So for me, let's hope that this is the right color. As you know, on all of my Foundation Fridays, I don't usually try anything first, so I can actually give you what it's really like to try a foundation for the first time. It is oil-free, alcohol-free, paraben-free, and then it says no microplastics, which is kind of interesting. That's a new trend I'm seeing. For sure, something that I'm interested in. I've definitely gone no plastic in the house anymore as much as possible, and kind of non-toxic pans and stuff like that. I'll show you guys when we move into our house. It also is vegan and cruelty-free. The only thing is that when I look at these ingredients, it is a dimethicone base. So if you are going to be using a primer, make sure that primer is dimethicone based, so silicone based. I don't like super love the ingredients, but it's a $10 foundation. What are you gonna do? Also too, my girlfriend said that it has a high fragrance like amount in it. The fragrance is towards the end, so let's double check here. It has an interesting smell. I wouldn't call that a fragrance smell, but I would call it an interesting smell. You can put it on with a brush, it says, or a sponge. So for me, as you always know, I'm gonna always go in with either a damp beauty sponge or one that is just dry. If you want that super full coverage and you are more of an oilier skin girly, you're gonna wanna go in with a brush to get those effects of what they're talking about with this type of foundation. All right. So let's get into this. I am in number 10. Let's hope. Let's hope. Also, too, you guys are going to come on a shopping trip with me today, so we're going to give this a good wear test. It does come in a dropper, which is not usually my favorite way. I usually like a pump, but that's all good. As I always do, I have prepped my skin as I normally would, which is my essence, my growth factors, my vitamin C, my moisturizer, since I live in the desert now, and my SPF, and I'll put all that in the description box. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this. It looks like it's not too bad of a match. This is definitely not like, I can already tell just by the consistency of it. Definitely higher coverage, and this is slightly damp, so it is going to dwindle down that coverage just by the mode of application. Okay, so I can already tell that this is going to be great for people that, honestly, all skin types, but if you do have oilier skin, applying this with your hands or a brush is going to be great for you. Us with drier skin, this sponge is going to give it a little bit more hydration. This is actually a really good color match for me. So if you are around my shade, number 10 is going to be for you. This is actually almost a perfect match. And just looking at it on my skin, I can already tell that I'm not going to need to set this. So these long-lasting foundations have a tendency to sit into fine lines quite a bit. So that's why applying it with a damp beauty sponge and really pressing it into the skin is my preferred method. And I'm gonna do one side of my face so you guys can see. And I'm just kind of tapping it in. That was very little, and look how good it's covered. That's awesome, actually. That's really pretty. My girlfriend, Annie, hey Annie, I know she watches my channel. She recommended this for me. So this is actually really nice. The consistency is very thin, which I absolutely love, because you know, whenever you get into those high coverage foundations, for some reason, it just is like so thick. So this is not that. And of course, as we all know, you can adjust the coverage by, like I've said, the application and of course, how much you put on. Yeah, you can already tell. That's the one thing about these long-lasting foundations is they sit and kind of accentuate this area right here. If you've been with me long enough, you know that I don't really use primers. If you wanted to, that probably would help with that. I just don't like those extra layers. Okay, so it's a pretty foundation. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a little bit more in the areas that I feel like I need just a little bit more coverage, which is gonna be right here, a little bit right here. I've been using my red light therapy mask and that has been helping quite a bit. I'm like on consistency of day like 30. Yeah, I'm just gonna put a little bit here. I'm gonna try my best to keep it away from this part of my face. So here you go. Half done, half not. All right, I'm gonna apply the other side and I'll be right back. All right, team, here we are. Everything is on. I think it actually looks really pretty. Definitely glow still stayed. Of course, as you know, I use glowy products on top of it, but the forehead still looks nice. I did set just right here with a little bit of Hourglass's powder, the finishing powder, on a damp sponge, but I like it so far. It is extremely lightweight. It feels like there is zero on my skin, absolutely nothing. And I think it did a really nice job covering things up. I don't think like this is super bad anymore. Maybe later on today it might get worse, but we'll find out for sure. Let me take you into some natural light. I'm in natural light. God, I can't wait till I get my studio set up and actually have lights, you guys. I'll be so excited. Okay, what? Come on. All right, so here it is in, oh my goodness, in full sun. I think it still looks nice. Let me know what you guys think. For 10 bucks, you guys, can't freaking beat it. $10. Okay, so we are gonna go on a little adventure to Ulta. I'm looking for something for another video, but let's do it. We're coming to Ulta, not because I don't love Ulta, but because there is no Sephora next to my house anywhere close, so let's do it. All right, it's been a couple hours later. We just went to Ulta, as you know. I think I put some of my footage in there. Yes, so foundation's holding up beautifully. I had the Charlotte Tilbury guy put on some like new eyebrow pencil for me. I think I like it. I don't know. I got my regular Anastasia one anyway. But yes, so here it is about 2 hours later. Now, it really would have been nice if today was hot because you would have been able to see if it really stayed on. But I've had my sunglasses on and it doesn't look like it's moved, which is nice because it's only about 76 degrees. But we're going to be doing this all day, so hang tight and we will see how it wears the rest of the day. But here it is so far. All right, see you guys in a little bit. All right, team, we are, let's see here, we are 5 hours in to the wear. Okay, so, and it is a little bit warmer now, it's almost 80 degrees. So for me, it's starting to wear weird, especially kind of in this area, it's starting to get cakey. I normally would like hit it with a rehydrating spray or something like that. I've been obviously wearing my sunglasses. That's come off. So I think this is it's all right. I don't know if I would call this a long wearing foundation. That's kind of where I think. The forehead still looks good. It's just getting like a touch dry. So I think it's a pretty foundation. Again, let's give it a few more hours, but if it's already starting to kind of get dry, I also touch my nose a ton here because of the dust and everything. Oh my gosh, I either feel like I'm sick or I have allergies all the time. Anywho, side note. But yeah, so I'm not super in love with it anymore, but the first 5 hours were good. So I think it would benefit it to have it mixed with some sort of like illuminating primer, or maybe put an illuminating primer underneath it. Maybe that might help it, but it does seem to be kind of drying out. But what do you guys think? Let me know. But for $10, honestly, I'll take it. Like above here is kind of, I don't know, weird, but yeah. All right, see you guys in a little bit. All right, team, it is about 6.5 hours of wear, so almost 7 hours. I know a lot of you guys go to work for 8 hours. So you guys like to have a full 8 hours. For some reason, and I don't know if it's foundation or not, but my face is starting to itch. So it is time to take this off. I don't think it actually is the foundation. I think, honestly, my skin has been trying to get used to existing here in the desert. It is just so dry. I thought Colorado was dry, girl. But I did spray on some rehydrating spray. This is the 1802 Beekman milkshake, and I think it looks a lot better. So if you do get this foundation and want to rehydrate it, I would use a hydrating spray, because it's like pretty dry down here. But I prepped it really well. So anyway, all in all, I actually really like the foundation. I will be using it again. I think I'm gonna do it in the way that I said earlier, where I'm gonna add it to other foundations that I want to give a little bit more coverage to, because it is such a great color match as well. So all in all, very happy. $10. You can't really beat that. So I hope you guys all have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you on the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Bye.